Imagine a fire so intense that it melted metal, consumed over 1,000,000 acres of land, and left thousands dead in its wake. This is the story of the Peshtigo Fire, the deadliest wildfire in American history, and yet one of the least known. Why has this devastating event been forgotten? And what lessons can we learn as we face today's modern wildfires, like those currently raging in Los Angeles? Let's uncover the tragic story of the Peshtigo Fire. The date was October 8th, 1871. While most people remember this day for the Great Chicago Fire, far to the north, in Wisconsin, an even greater disaster was unfolding. The Peshtigo Fire ignited in the forests of northern Wisconsin, fueled by a perfect storm of dry conditions, strong winds, and human activity. The fire began as small, controlled burns meant to clear land for agriculture and railroads. However, weeks of drought had dried the landscape, leaving the region a tinderbox. On that fateful evening, a cold front moved in, bringing in powerful winds that fanned the flames into an uncontrollable inferno. The fire spread at an unimaginable speed. With flames racing through the forests and towns, witnesses described a massive wall of fire, leaping hundreds of feet into the air and consuming everything in its path. Entire communities were engulfed within minutes, leaving residents little to no time to escape. The firestorm created its own weather system, with winds so strong that it uprooted trees and temperatures so high that sand turned into glass. Fire whirls, tornado-like formations of flame, added to the chaos, spreading embers over long distances and igniting new fires miles away. By midnight, the town of Peshtigo had been reduced to ashes. The fire had jumped rivers and consumed bridges, trapping people who tried to flee. Survivors recalled the roar of the flames being so loud that it drowned out screams, and the heat was so intense that it could ignite clothing from a distance. So why don't we hear more about the Peshtigo Fire? Well, timing played a huge role. It happened on the exact same day as the Great Chicago Fire, which consumed much of the media's attention. Chicago was a bustling, growing metropolis, while Peshtigo was a rural area with a much smaller population. The media and the public naturally focused on the urban disaster. Fast forward to today, and we're still battling wildfires. Take Los Angeles, for example, where fires are an annual threat. But while these modern fires are destructive, we have tools that didn't exist in 1871. Early warning systems, satellite monitoring, and firefighting aircrafts. Yet the challenges remain similar: dry conditions, strong winds, and the human factor. Let's compare. The Peshtigo Fire, 1871. Area burnt, 1.2 million acres. Deaths, 1,200 to 2,500 souls. Cause, logging debris, dry weather, and wind. Los Angeles fires, recent years. Area burnt, thousands to hundreds of thousands of acres. Varies by fire. Deaths, dozens, typically fewer due to modern evacuation methods. Cause, power lines, campfires, and climate change have driven factors. While the scale and technology differ, the core issues of human impact and climate conditions remain strikingly similar. The Peshtigo Fire also serves as a reminder of the human cost of environmental mismanagement. Back then, unchecked logging created vast amounts of flammable debris, which turned the forest into a tinderbox. Today, urban areas sprawled into fire-prone areas creates new risk. The stories of Peshtigo's survivors are harrowing. Many escapes to rivers or wells to avoid the flames, But even the water couldn't protect everyone from the heat and smoke. One survivor described the fire as a tornado of flames. Another recalled the skies turning blood red and ashes falling like snow for days afterwards. The Peshtigo Fire may not be as famous as the Chicago Fire or as visible as today's wildfires, but it's a story that deserves to be told. It reminds us of the fragility of life, the power of nature, and the importance of learning from the past. The next time you hear about a wildfire, think of Peshtigo, and let's work together to ensure we're doing everything we can to prevent the next great fire disaster. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into history and current events. Let us know in the comments section what other forgotten events should we explore. Peace.
Bread man, make myself your life is not a dead man.